saddled with the duty of becoming a chairman. I've been made actually chairman of this meeting by the board of directors of your company. And we permit S.I. Balagun to please say an opening prayer. Elijah.
Good morning, everybody. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Almighty Allah, give every one of us the good will and save any one of us back to our destination. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amen. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa hayyul qayyum. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardi. Man zal ladzi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'izni. Ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum. Wala ya'ituna bin shay'in mili ila bimash wasi'a kursiyu samawati wal arda wala yaudu sumu wa huwa al-aliyyul la hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Sallu ala nabi karim.
Amen. Thank you, Al-Hajja. It's necessary to draw the attention of shareholders to the measures we have taken as a responsible corporate citizen due to the pandemic. In compliance with the federal and state directives, we have taken several precautionary measures, including the provision of hand sanitizers, nose masks, and gloves at this meeting, as well as the checking of body temperatures at the entrance, and ensuring social distancing between attendees. Before we proceed to the formal business of the day, I would like to introduce to you the directors of the company. In view of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, some of your directors are joining the meeting virtually from their various locations. I would sincerely apologize for that. Some directors are, however, physically present at this meeting, and I will introduce them to you. By my right is Mr. Adinka Ojora. By my left is the company secretary, Mrs. Sheila Ezeako. And right on her left is Mr. Huey Benson, our director. And by his left is Mr. Wale Bamori, the group main director. Chief Anthony Idigbe, who is the director of the company, is also joining the meeting virtually, as well as our chairman, Mr. Ken Odogo. May I also introduce Mr. Ernesto Acosta, the representative of the company that is now an investor in general insurance company, representing Insure Silence Investment Fund. Mr. Ernesto Acosta is joining us virtually at this meeting. Also present at this meeting are your representatives on the body committee, Alhaja Kudesi Sarat Ayodele, Mr. Bekumi Akinsholu, and Mr. Olayu Tajuddin Alabi. Nigeria Stock Exchange is represented here by Mrs. Lilian Dako, and the representatives of the auditors, Derek and Tush, Mrs. Itunde Ojitayo, is here. Is here also with us. And representatives of the registrars, Cardinal Stone registrars, Mr. Raymond is here with us. The representatives of the Corporate Affairs Commission, unfortunately, is not here, but he's joining us also virtually. I also wish to introduce the shareholders present, who are also acting as proxies to shareholders. Mr. Chief Sani Omozu, KSS, you're welcome, sir. Mr. Boniface Okezi, you're welcome, sir. Mr. Hewitt Benson, welcome, sir. The company secretary, Mr. Sheila Ezeku, welcome, sir. And virtually attending also Mr. Ken Odogo. I also wish to announce that in compliance with Section 275, subsection 8 of the Companies and Liabilities Act, the Registrar of Directors Holdings will be available for inspection at this meeting. To facilitate the smooth conduct of our meeting, I would like to request that those who wish to speak should kindly indicate by a show of hand. Please, when called upon to speak, state your name audibly and clearly before you make your comments. May I call upon the Company Secretary to read the notice convening the meeting? Mrs. Chair. Thank you very much, Mrs. Adeo. Before we proceed to the first item of our agenda, let me present to you the chairman's statement contained in pages 18, 19, 20, and 21 of the annual report and financial statements already circulated to shareholders. Thank you very much. Distinguished shareholders, appreciate that. The first item of the agenda is today before the meeting. The consolidated financial statement of the group for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the directors, audit committee, and external auditors thereon. You have all received the annual reports and financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the external auditors and the audit committee thereon. I take it that we have read the annual report for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the external auditors and the audit committee thereon. I would now like to formally lay before the meeting the annual report and the financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the external auditors and the audit committee. The original accounts and copies duly signed are available at this meeting for verification. I now call on the representatives of the external auditors, Mrs. Mrs. Yetunde, representing Deloitte and Touche, to read the report of the external auditors to the members. Kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All protocols observed. My name is Yetunde Odetayo, representing Deloitte and Touche. You find the auditor's report on pages 52 to 56. And I want to crave the indulgence of the shareholders to take the first two paragraphs and the last paragraph. Thank you. Independent auditors report to the shareholders of Real Exchange PLC, report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Real Exchange PLC, the group and company, set out on pages 57 to 186, which comprise the consolidated and separate financial statement of the financial position as of 31st December 2019, and the consolidated and separate statement of the profit or loss and other comprehensive income the consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity and consolidated and separate statement of the cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including the summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Royal Exchange PLC as of 31st December 2019, and the financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standard, the Companies and Allied Matters Act Cap C20 LFN 2004, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2011. Basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with the international standards on auditing. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the group and company in accordance with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Professional Code of Conduct and Guide for Accountants, and other independent requirements applicable to performing audits of financial statements in Nigeria. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibility in accordance with the ICANN Code, in accordance with other ethical requirements applicable to performing audits in Nigeria. The ICANN Code is consistent with the corresponding section of the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standard. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The last paragraph is on page 56. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 6th Schedule of Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004, we expressly state that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief are necessary for the purpose of our audits. 2, the group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books. 3, the group and company's financial position and its statements of profit and loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. As detailed in Note 62, the group contravenes certain sections of the Securities and Exchange Commission rules and regulations, Federal Inland Revenue Services, and Central Banks of Nigeria. This report is signed on the 8th of August 2020 on behalf of Deloitte and Touch by my humble self. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Retayo. I now call on Alhaja A.S. Kudaisi, the chairperson of the Audit Committee, to read the report of the Audit Committee to the members. Alhaja Kudaisi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please open your annual account to page 50. That's where you find the report of the Audit Committee. I read, in compliance with Section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, C20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, year 2004, called the Act, we, the members of the Audit Committee, have reviewed and considered the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st, year 2019, and the report thereon, and confirmed as follows. A, the accounting and reporting policies of the company and group are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. B, the scope and planning of both the external and internal audits for the year ended 31st December 2019 were satisfactory and reinforced the group's internal control systems. C, we have reviewed the findings on management matters in conjunction with the external auditors and are satisfied with the response of management thereon. D, the company system of accounting and internal controls were adequate. E, after due consideration, the committee accepted the report of the auditors that the financial statements were in accordance with ethical practices and international financial reporting standard, IFRS. The committee therefore recommends that the audited financial statement for the period ended 31st December 2019 and the auditor's report thereon be presented for adoption by the company at the annual general meeting. This report the report is dated July 20, 2020, signed by my humble self, Elijah Ayodele Kudaisi. Other members of the committee are Chief U. Okpa Obaji, who is unavoidably absent here. Mr. T. Olawoye, please stand up for recognition. Mr. A. Bekumi, Alhaji R. M. Guazo is unavoidably absent too. Mr. A. A. Ojora, and my humble self, Elijah Ayodele Kudaisi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elijah. I shall be pleased to receive any questions you may have on the reports and the financial statements, together with the profit and loss accounts for the year ended December 31st, 2019. If you have any questions, it will help to kindly mention your name and also the page of the annual report and the account to which the question relates, so we can be able to answer your question more clearly. Thank you very much. May I invite Mr. Nwosu, Sir Nwosu.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, the board. And especially good morning to everybody that made this meeting a possibility, from the regulators to ordinary risk bearers, the shareholders, and the staff of the company. It's very nice coming here for the first time, and I've seen some very good abracadabra to make this hall look like. Well, I also want to congratulate Royal Exchange on their 51st annual general meeting. Mr. Chairman, I'd like that the major concern of all of us who are investors in insurance company today is the recapitalization in the industry. And I want to tell you my view about all this. I'm not so much inclined with Nikon. Is Nikon here? Okay. Because this is Oshodi, they may be afraid of the area boys in Oshodi.
Well, yes, this is a PLC. Okay, but it's okay.
So, oh yes, the holding company. I am not inclined with those things because what they have achieved in doing with this regulation is to allow foreigners who never worked for the growth of the insurance company in this country to take over all these assets of Nigerians. That's what they have achieved. And I want to say it clearly. Carry did not help the industry. He was just too punitive on the industry, maybe fighting himself because he has not contributed anything good in the industry itself. You can imagine the situation. Look at the number of companies that are slipping off from the shareholders that built these institutions over the years. So we are not happy. We are not happy loophole on the business and the finances of the company. So that's why I don't share that. But my role as a shareholder is to speak out, use every instrument to fight the unjustified approach of Nikon to issues. And that was why we went to court and got a court ruling against them. On the first attempt, Carey did, because he knew he was leaving the commission. And as such, he wanted to create this problem much earlier. Because he has some friends, about 3 or 4 insurance companies that he wants to, for their own sake. He knows that these people will scale through and kill all other insurance. So, as I talk, I stand firm on the issue about the misbehavior of a regulator called Nikon on this issue. Now, how do you also think that these companies will be capitalized under the COVID situation we are, where there is no money, there is nothing? So it's an easy way of giving out our investment to people. If you also look at the stock exchange, you will also agree with me that only few insurance companies cross 30 kobo, making that sector unviable for investors, and therefore giving room to those their friends to bring in. If they bring $5 million to this country, you know what they will take from it, killing us. So what we need to do, any company taken away from shareholders, we should start a campaign that the patronage of Nigerians should not go to such company. Let us, like you recall, we were discussing something today, we should promote our own in this country. Let Nigeria insurance population patronize Nigerian insurance companies. Let's now see what will happen. And that's the program I'm taking up now. And I've said it at a very serious level and lower level, that for me, I will continue to campaign that the patronage of insurance policies should go to Nigerian companies and not the foreign companies. This is very important. But having said that, as a policy and as a message that I'm delivering to insurance companies, whether I am invited or not, I want to thank the board for inviting me to represent the thousands of shareholders of this company and to stand firm for them. Mr. Chairman, having said that, I also want us to look at some few things, because already we have sent in a position on all this. If not for tax adjustment, maybe our loss position would have remained at 1,312,000,000 naira. But we thank the expert, the management, that were able to get us this tax relief that reduced this to 1,013,000. The other thing is, if you look at page 58, that actually mirrors the entire problem of this company. If you look at it, the subsidiaries are not doing well, and we have to do something about the subsidiaries. I'm not saying it should be closed down. It's the weakest aspect of management to close down, because we have actually put in a lot of money into the subsidiaries. What we need to do is to look at the subsidiaries again and find out where they are not performing. And we need to do something to make sure that they are performed. If you leave those subsidiaries, another company will take the goodwill that you have built in those places. So the management and board must sit down and take another look about these things. And I want to appreciate the board that our borrowing on note 29, so you can go to note 29, because I try to move very fast. We have 8 meetings today, and there are just one other one that I'm so committed, like I'm committed here, which I want to attend. I want to thank Sally for making that commitment very strong. Because that's the Sheila for making that commitment very strong. She has been on my neck. I must be here. I must be here. And so if we also go to retained earning on page 34, it speaks clearly And the retained earning is showing 3 billion. And that's why it's very important to know how far we have gone with the recapitalization. Because for us to achieve the recapitalization itself, we must ensure that the hole is filled up, whether it's from the insurance company or from any other place. But the group retained earning, which is reflecting all the subsidiaries, is showing 3-point-something billion naira. So we need to know what is the portion of the insurance which is being regulated by NICOM. So it's very important for us to, so that will give us hope that, yes, we have a company in our hands. Because if you remove insurance, the group will not be viable any longer. So it's very important that the insurance must be well capitalized, despite whatever we are saying. You know, the regulators in this country, when they are crazy, they can destroy investment. It's just a language from them, and the problem starts. So we just have to follow up and fulfill whatever they want, or why those of us who are not being regulated can be talking against their policies. You cannot talk about their policies. I used to say that the board is deaf and dumb to their regulators, which is true because of the punitive nature of regulators in this country. So, Mr. Chairman, as I promised that I want to be very brief, I want to congratulate all of you that we still have Royal Exchange as an ongoing business. But go back and look at the auditor's report, external auditor's report. You will also see some of these things in their reports. It's very important that next time we are coming, before even next time, we must have the sense of belonging that our company is an ongoing company. So I don't think I need to congratulate you for acting, because I told you you're a veteran. And acting itself is fidihe. It's not something that one can congratulate anybody. But you are my friend and my president, so I can say that to you. If anybody does, please tell the company secretary to sue the person. So maybe we will get the money that we need to further recapitalize Royal Exchange. God bless all of us. And I want to thank the staff for the good job they have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Nwosu. Thank you very much for your contributions. We have noted all your observations, and we will take them up in due course. Meanwhile, may I ask Mr. Boniface Okezi to kindly, yes.
No, it's okay.
Oops. Don't worry, Boniface.
Directors of a great company, fellow distinguished shareholders, good morning. My name is Okezia Boniface. I'm the National Chairman of Progressive Shareholders Association Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I'm delighted to be here this morning because this is the insurance I have a passion. I mean, the company I have a passion. This is a HOCO company. In the first place, we're not talking of insurance here. But why we'll keep talking of insurance is one of our subsidiary, Royal Exchange Insurance PLC, Limited, which is also doing a great job. By the way they have a positioning, we have hope in that aspect. And I have to commend the MD of that company, the Amman Insurance Limited. You know, they have been doing very well. And I thank the board for the position they have taken. And even the capitalization, I think that is a deal done for that aspect. The life that have been dragging us down, I think also the board, I think people are also doing things to reposition it so that, you know, what we are getting from the Genco will not be using to service that aspect, you know, which have dragged us down. Because I can't be happy under can't be happy. Under this reign I came, I won't go home with dividend. Because my investments here, if there's dividend today, even if it's 5 kobo or 10 kobo, I think by next 1 week, we'll eat a nice meal in the home. Yes, I say this is how I invested, you know. So going empty-handed, nobody's happy. What's going on? So Mr. MD of Royal Exchange Insurance Limited, kudos. But I believe strongly, because the profit he made, if it is there not, dragging down the financial efforts, this and that, which you have contributed to the group, we're able to get home dividend. So don't relent, making sure in the next 2 years thereabout, but I can't say next year, but miracle can happen, because that's not impossible with God. But I believe in the next 2 years, let us give you that time frame, that we'll be able to return to profitability and pay dividend. So I don't come here and have excuses. Because if you're going by this account, we pay penalty of 9.8 million. I mean, it's ridiculous, of late filing. So I will make sure the account department, whoever, even if the account is not ready, available, but write to regulators that you're having challenges for those regulators who approve the account. You have CBN here regulating, because this is a whole financial institutions, and have insurance, we have this and life, this and that, in Nikon, what have you, so that exchange will be notified, sale will be notified, while we're not filing as early as possible. So if we take that measure in place, the penalty will not arise. And if there's no penalty, we have to query them, because I don't want our one to parting ways to regulators who are not helping us. Mr. Chairman, if you look at the account of 126 paid here, we paid Nikon levy 105 million, 105.844 that's the group in 2019, as against 26 million in 2018. Levy. That's Nikon. Doing nothing. What are they supervising? Levy. So Nikon is stealing from companies. Those it is subvention from government. Meanwhile, they are not regulating anything. Like my earlier speaker, my brother said earlier, my elder brother said earlier. So these regulators are not helping us. They are creating more problems than we can chew. What are they regulating? Okay, look at this today on page 27 of this account. Look at money we imparted out that went to regulator. Contravention, 5 million. We paid. Who are those? SEC, stock exchange. Mr. Chairman, I am not happy. Because if this money be here, I didn't see donation donated to charities, other body, other people who are begging. Today, Nigerians have become a beggar. Even as Nigerians are begging for foreigners to help us. A lot of letters have come here to soliciting for aid. What they know. We didn't donate. So if we are giving those money to less privileged society, it should have been better. I know you did something in this pandemic to less privileged in the society. But if this money are putting together, giving to them, we will clap for you than to regulator taking those money for doing nothing. They want to reap where they did not sow. I am not happy. Honestly, I am not happy. Mr. Chairman, page 186, that's the buttress, what we have here. 1.3 million. That's the late filing. Penalty for late redemption. First quarter and second quarter. That's 2019. Penalty for late filing of first quarter, 2019. Trustee returns. Mr. Chairman, in 2018, we did also 3.5 million, 3.17 million. So this things should not be occurred this year. I know it's a challenging, but let us do everything possible. Because Sheila herself is in forefront of good corporate governance. She doesn't want to find anything late. But those concerned, I'm challenging you. Don't disgrace her. Don't put her to shame, because she's one bill on your neck. Get this in those files. But if it's not ready, what will you do as a company secretary? So let us help her to make sure that no money here being parted henceforth to any useless regulator. Honestly, I'm speaking that. I know it's not going to be easy. Pandemic have compounded every problem. Yes, but make things as quick as possible so that we can file as early as possible. Mr. Chairman, it is not all that, yes, we make a 1 billion loss. That is not new. A lot of companies even have more than that. But I'm believing that with the challenge posed by COVID-19, we're able to mitigate and combat profitability. It's doable. With these men on the board, it's doable. And I know that we have taken some measures which is embodied in this account, to recapitalize. So let the management help the board to do their job very well, so that at the end of the day, we'll not blame directors of non-performing. Mr. Chairman, our earning on page 8, which also decreased of 6%, as against 15 billion, last year we made 14.8 billion. Loss, which is about, after tax and et cetera, 1.3 billion, as against 159 in 2018. Mr. Chairman, we can able to do better than this. We can able to do better. Royal Exchange have come a long way. This is not a big company in the industry today. With what we are doing in the area of those subsidiaries, they should be able to contribute to the group, so the group can pay dividend to its shareholders. That's what have the subsidiaries. Like I said earlier, life, you must wake up. Healthcare, you must wake up. The finance is also coming up, profitable. But if by the plan, like the chairman alluded here, we should be able to come through and we get some fund, including the microfinance. If this one bring, they are not making loss. Mr. Chairman, nobody will come here and complain of no issue of dividend to shareholders. We'll go home dry, we're having good dividend. So only one company, one subsidiary or two cannot be able to do it. Let all of them that are still going concern come up with their decisions. And also, Mr. Chairman, this conglomerate, we need to reposition the group itself. We don't need an insurance to run that company, the group in. So we need somebody that will position the company in area of investments, because I do somebody who's chairing investments here is also a banker. What we need, investment banker to run those companies. Then the insurance, you have the professional to run it. Even that we're training Nikon to do something, you don't need to rely on insurance people to run the company. Even insurance itself. Banker today, anybody who did electrical engineering, sociology, even animal husband, they're running banks successfully and making profit. Why should insurance be different? That you need an insurance to run a company, be an MD. That average is wrong, totally wrong. If you're an economics who can drive a business, you should be appointed. You don't need an insurance to run a company, insurance company. That was a part of the thing that killing insurance company. And you have a good head who can do the turnaround. They are not there. We're waiting somebody who have insurance certificate to come and run a company. It's totally wrong. So Nikon should purge itself of such policies, And I believe that board have taken everything possible to reposition this company. I'm not holding for them. Is that what I read here? And they say they are doing. We have injected enough fund now in the Royal Exchange Insurance Limited. So that has been done. It remains the life. I know you are there. So make sure that life also recapitalize before the deadline, so that it can able to come and pull the money and support the group, so that we can pay dividend. Having said that, Shell, I want to commend you for what you have done, bringing this up, so that we don't spend 3 or 5 million to renting a place who are not paying dividend. But I don't know if such a place will have a hall that accommodate. So I think that's part of gain from COVID, so that I can use that money for something else. This is why we're not paying money, it's our hall. Thank God for that, for COVID, that this money unnecessary going to pay a hall and do this and that in this AGM. So that's a good aspect of it. But in as much as the pandemic has not allowed the euphoria of AGM shareholders to celebrate their company, they have been the franchise. Well, but I know some of them are following streamline, to observe this AGM. I want to commend them that by the time this pandemic goes away, we'll come back to a normal life, do our AGM. Nobody will be left behind. So I pray that God in heaven will help us and restore hope for mankind. So at the end of the day, we'll be jolly back, party, being in AGM, and praise God for that. God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boniface Okezi. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that we have received very positive comments from the two shareholders who hold proxies for many, many shareholders of the company. The truth is that, yes, we haven't done as expected, but the truth also is the fact that you can't run better than the economy, to be very honest, okay? everybody is very familiar about the fact that in the last 2 years, the economy has been, macro economy hasn't done very well itself, and you can perform beyond what the economy is doing. We're doing our best to ensure that the companies under the group are doing very well. Obviously, the two major companies under the group are the insurance companies. And we are all very familiar about the fact that, yes, we have been facing the challenge of recapitalization, which has been raised by both members who have spoken, or shareholders who have spoken. But let me say this clearly. Regarding the recapitalization of some of the companies under the group, specifically our insurance companies, we are very familiar about the fact that Nigeria has been trying to drive both FDI and portfolio investments, right? Because of the fact that, yes, we need a lot of money to come into the country. But we are aware also of the implication of this. Like Chief also said, moments before we came in here, we were all very concerned. Again, the background of current pandemic globally, everybody is very well aware that the general tendency is for all countries to be inclusive, try to be on their own, try to develop and grow their economies, and be very mindful about what must be done to generate employment, generate wealth within the economy, and ensure that development is brought about to bear. Now, we have been done fairly well really in this respect, and I must say that with respect to the investment that we have received in REGIC, and I'm glad that both of you, including that speaker, have alluded to the growth and the performance of general insurance in the last 1 year or so, and even as it's happening today. We are very able and we're very lucky to have received investment from abroad in a very significant and unique area, because the company or the partners that we have engaged, who are now shareholders in REGIC, they have come in and we have accepted them because they are trying to help us deliver, or rather move into an area that this country has been lacking. That's agricultural insurance. We're very aware that we are agricultural economy. We need to be able to help the farmers and all those who are growing all the various foods and so on for local consumption and for export, to be able to ensure them and ensure that they are able to be encouraged to do what is needed to be done. And we have received an investment from a group of companies, or rather from a foreign company that is attached to a government. It's not really a private company as such. They are very much interested in helping Nigeria to look into the areas of insurance of agricultural activities. And so far, if some of you have been mindful of what has happened recently, the Royal Exchange now is partnering with CBN and also with NISFAL. That is an institution that is geared towards ensuring that farmers are provided with intervention funds and so on and so forth. And we are the major, if not the only insurance company that has been recognized now nationally, okay, as being involved in agricultural insurance. And this company has come in not just with money as an investment, they have come in also with technology and capacity development. They are giving us support, including financial and non-financial, in the area of building capacity of people who are working in the company, so we can be able to understand and appreciate really what is to be done in this direction. I am expecting, and all the members of the board also are very well aware, management here, and I want to congratulate you for what you have been doing, that we look forward to becoming really a very successful, okay, and thriving insurance company that will be making serious foray into agricultural insurance in the not distant future. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Yes, you raised issues to do with performance of our subsidiary companies, and we are doing as much as we can. Let me say this, the board in the last 6-7 months or so, even before the COVID and even during the COVID period, we have been having a lot of virtual meetings, trying to discuss how we can ensure that we're able to meet what's required by NICOM, to ensure that the two companies that we have under the group are not allowed to fall into the challenge that, so with due respect to what some members have now ascribed to the challenges being posed by NICOM. We would like to say that regardless of whatever opinion may be there, the truth is we are doing our best, and we're very confident that this year we'll be able to ensure that both companies are up on their feet and doing very well and properly capitalized. Let me assure you of this. Yes. I know you have raised issues to do with some performances internally, like levies, okay, and the penalties we have paid. We're doing our best to challenge management to ensure that these levies and filing fees and whatever it is, they are not recurring anymore again. Let me assure you that we're doing our best to ensure that this company, the individual companies on their own, and the group company of company itself, the holding company, are being run with the best governance and in the most efficient manner possible. We're doing our best. Let me assure you that the board is very concerned and really doing its best to ensure that changes are brought about. I'm happy that you feel confident, just like we also feel about the going concern of this company. Let me assure you that by the end of this year, we'll be able to give you information about what has been going on regarding the capitalization. And I'm very confident by the time we meet next year, the result will be different from what we have seen in the last 1 year. That's my expectation. So I know you have raised other comments. Let me thank you for all that. And I think unless you have serious issues again, I would like to say that we thank you very much for these contributions, and we'll move forward in the meeting. Thank you very much. There be no further comments and questions, and there are no reports of the President's statement for the year ended having been presented, and members have made comments and notations. We can proceed to the next matter on the agenda. Re-election of directors. The next business of the day is the election of directors. Chief Anthony Ekemefuna Idigbe, SAN, and Mr. Hewitt Benson, even director on the board, are the directors retiring by rotation. In accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, the directors being eligible offer themselves for re-election. To facilitate the ready conclusion of this business, members may wish to pass a resolution for the re-election of the directors retiring by rotation as a single resolution. Okay, thank you. I now propose the election of Chief Anthony Idigbe and Mr. Hugh Benson to elect retiring by rotation be done in a manner that you have just suggested. Thank you very much. Well, shareholders, please, second resolution that we now put one by one. Thank you, Mr. Onwasu. Thank you very much. We've noted. I declare the resolution carried. That we do the election one by one. You have proposed. Okay, I now propose that Chief Idigbe, Chief Ekemefuna Idigbe SAN, the director retiring by rotation and being eligible, offering himself for re-election, be and hereby elected director of the company. Will a shareholder please second this motion? Alhaja, thank you very much. Thank you very much. May I call for I may now call on the registrars to announce the re-election of Chief Idigbe, the directors retired by rotation and be eligible for them, offering himself for re-election. I like to declare that the resolution. May I call on members, please, to pass this resolution? Okay, for election of Chief Idigbe.
Okay. On the resolution to re-elect Chief Anthony Idigbe, SAN, as a director of the company, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 3,832,199,739 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I therefore declare, in the absence of any different resolution, may I declare the resolution be unanimously be carried? Thank you very much. I now propose that Mr. Hewitt Benson, independent director, who is retiring by rotation as well, and being eligible for re-election. Mr. Benson, kindly be and hereby re-elected director of the company. Will a shareholder kindly second resolution? Thank you very much. May I now call on the registrar's scheduled tone to announce the results of the proxy.
On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Hewitt Benson as the director of the company, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 3,832,199,739 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. You can please kindly sit down, Mr. Registrar. I therefore declare the resolution to elect Mr. Hewitt Benson be unanimously carried. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Remuneration of external auditors. The next business of the day is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of external auditors in accordance with Section 361, subsection 1B of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004 for the financial year ending December 31st, 2020. Section 361, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004 also stipulates that the remuneration of the external auditors shall be determined by the company in a general meeting or in such manner as the company in a general meeting may determine. I now propose that the directors be and hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the year ending December 31st, 2020. Will shareholder please second resolution? Chairman also. Thank you very much. I declare the resolution now carried. May I now call to announce the results of the proxy?
On the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of auditors, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 3,832,199,739 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare the resolution unanimously carried. Item 4, election of shareholder members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The next business of the day is the election of shareholders of the company to the Statutory Audit Committee for the financial year ending December 31st, 2020. Section 359, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap 2004, mandates that each public company shall establish an audit committee, while subsection 6 of same section outlines the objectives and functions of the committee. Section 359, subsection 4 of the Act provides that the committee shall consist of equal number of directors and representatives of the shareholders of the company, subject to a maximum number of 6 members. The board has approved that the following 3 directors should serve on the Statutory Audit Committee for the financial year ended December 31st, 2020. They are Chief Anthony Ekebefuna Idigbe, who is here by virtually. Mr. Denka Ojora, Mr. Hewitt Benson, kindly. The company secretary received 79 nominations for the following members to represent the shareholders' interest of the audit committee. And I would like to ask that you spare me reading the names of those members, or do we read the names of all the members who actually, yes. Well, I will also go ahead to tell you, we have received 76 letters withdrawing.
So you have only
their
3
nominations.
left. Only,
also other committee.
Mr. Chairman, there is no election, but the fact of the case is that the current controversial Kama is saying that the board representation will be 2 as against 3. But as it is, because it's controversial, and that's why there is no gazette yet on it, will remain as we have been doing, 3-3. But be aware that any time it's gazetted, one director will have to drop. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for
Thank you for the observation,
meeting. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Also. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Well, like I said, we have also received 76 letters withdrawing their nomination for the audit committee. With these withdrawals, the only nominees presented to represent the shareholder interest of the audit committee for their ending December 31st, 2020 are Halaja Kudasi Sarat Ayujale, Mr. Lawi Tajuddin Alabi, and Mr. Bekumi Akishelu. These shareholders represented as team members of the Statutory Audit Committee and have signified their intention to continue to serve and represent shareholders' interests on the committee. May I suggest that they be elected to represent the shareholders' interests on the committee. And I propose that the election of shareholders to the committee for their ending, December 31st, 2020, be by re-election. Will the shareholder please second the resolution? Thank you very much. In the absence of any objection, I declare the resolution unanimously carried. Thank you very much. The following 3 persons are elected to represent shareholders on the committee for their ending, December 31st, 2020. Alhaja Kudaisi Sarat Ayudele, Mr. Olawi Tajuddin Alabi, Mr. Bekumi Akisholu. And the committee has therefore the following membership: Chief Anthony Ekebefuna Edigbe, SAN, Mr. Deyinka Ojora, Mr. Hewitt Benson, once again Alhaja Kudaisi Sarat Ayudele, Mr. Olawi Tajuddin Alabi, and Mr. Bekumi Akisholu. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal business of the annual general meeting for the end of December 31st, 2019. I will now declare this meeting closed. I thank you on behalf of the board, management and staff of your company for attending this meeting and showing much interest in the affairs of your company. Thank you very much and have a good day.